Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. This is Pro Wrestling Logic for the continuation of kind of advancement through pro wrestling in a way that doesn't require you to watch so much, well, subpar pro wrestling entertainment. Anyway, then we kind of go into the SmackDown review for the Friday the 20th of May 2021. Certainly May is a down month. I mean, really, the summer is not particularly good for WWE except for SummerSlam. Basically, WWE is a product that is worth watching January through April, and then about a month before SummerSlam, and then not really the rest of the year at this point in the process. So, certainly a weak product, and it continues to be so here. They do end up burying the, I guess, fired, released, suspended, take your pick on the day. Tandem of Naomi and Sasha Banks, which, it's here. Obviously, talent getting upset over creative in a company that doesn't really matter in the long run. Is it really worth it? Who knows? Anyway, Bloodline segment opens the show. Opening segment, typical, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Undisputed champion Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and the SmackDown Tag Champs Usos make their way to the ring. They recapped the confrontation with the Bloodline from previous incarnations. Reigns then takes the mics, demands that the fans acknowledge him. This gets a mixed reaction. Some fans cheers, others break into a chant of lack of support. Heyman said that tonight is the biggest night in tag wrestling history. Hardly. Heyman claimed that Reigns could smash and stack Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Dwayne Johnson. He had that Reigns is the greatest of all time. Again, hardly. Heyman discussed that the Usos became the greatest tag team of all time. He mentioned Offit and Seek of the Wild Samoans as the greatest tag team. The Usos will most likely unify the championships to prove they're the greatest team and better than the Wild Samoans. He added that the Usos must win the titles tonight or they'll not be coming home to the island of relevancy. Heyman promised that the Usos would win the titles. He added that if not, it's a prediction but a spoiler. Reigns then takes the mic back and addresses his cousins. He demanded that they win the tag titles tonight. Reigns noted that he has high expectations because he loves them. Reigns then gave them both a hug. In the back, Sami Zayn is watching the promo on the monitor. Zayn is wearing a Bloodline t-shirt and starts walking to the ring. Nakamura defeats Sami Zayn, 10:36. Zayn and Nakamura have a decent enough match with a decent enough finish. Zayn grabs a headlock early at the bell. Nakamura breaks free and nails Zayn with a kick. Nakamura is in control. Zayn yanks him down by the hair, follows up with a clothesline for a near fall. Zayn climbs the top rope. Nakamura cuts him off. They fight on the top rope. Nakamura knocks him down, and Zayn avoids the Kinshasa. We go to the break. We come back. Zayn and Nakamura are doing basic holds. Nakamura then hits a knee off the middle rope for a close near fall, sets up the Kinshasa. Zayn rolls out of the ring. Nakamura goes after Zayn on the floor. Zayn fights back, hits a Michinoku driver. Zayn then almost wins by countout. Nakamura barely beats the 10 count. Fans break into a Rusty chant. I don't really get that. Anyway, then we go to Nakamura and Zayn brawling around ringside. Nakamura tosses Zayn over the barricade. Nakamura almost wins by countout. Zayn barely beats the 10 count, and Nakamura hits Kinshasa as Zayn gets back in the ring. They air Usos video package. Happy Talk comes out. Segment kills time. Fans don't really seem to care until Corbin destroys the Andre the Giant trophy. Haven't we seen this before? Happy Corbin talks in front of the trophy. Corbin got back in the ring, calls the attack a work of art. He decides that basically nothing really matters here. Corbin points out that Moss had it good. Corbin even paid Moss to fly first class. He claims that Moss wanted to get out of his shadow. Corbin then mentions that Moss would make jokes and called him the Big Bad Wolf. He might be Big Bad Wolf because he huffed and puffed and put Moss down. Corbin then jumps out of the ring and destroys the Andre the Giant trophy. They recap Ricochet encouraging Drew Gulak to confront Gunther last week. Gunther then, with Ludwig Kaiser, defeats Drew Gulak. A quick squash match setting up Ricochet and Gunther's feud. Kaiser introduced Gunther and go to commercial. 1 minute, 8 seconds, why even bother? Gunther takes over with a boot to the face. He rocks Gulak with a series of chops. He then hits a powerbomb for the win. After the match, Gunther attacks Gulak and puts him in the Boston Crab. Ricochet runs out, makes the save. Pierce is confronted by LA Knight, debuts as Max Dupree. He then approaches Adam Pearce's office. Dupree is the CEO of the hottest new agency. He's looking for superstars that can headline Fashion Week in Paris and headline WrestleMania. This is just a stupid gimmick. Pierce then is confused, noting that Sonya Deville hired him a few weeks ago. Pierce pointed out that she's no longer in management. Dupree now has an agency and has signed contract. Pierce then tries to pronounce Dupree, but is saying it wrong. Dupree tried to correct him. What a waste of time this is. In the back, Kayla Braxton interviews RK Bro. They heard the Usos earlier tonight. Riddle then points out that they beat the Usos. The Usos go one-on-one every week. They recaps Ronda Rousey versus Raquel Rodriguez from last week. In the back, Shotzi Blackheart claims that she's about to accept Rousey's challenge, but Rodriguez pushes her out of the way. Aaliyah approaches and claims Shotzi locked her in the locker room last week. Then we go to Raquel Rodriguez defeating Shotzi. Rodriguez and Shotzi have an okay match. Rodriguez dominates and looks decent. Probably the best woman they have on roster now, rising. Los Lotharios, Xia Li, Aaliyah, and more watch the match from backstage. Rodriguez meets Shotzi in the corner early. She works over the arm, goes for a sleeper, but Rodriguez breaks free. Shotzi attempts a Rana, but Rodriguez catches her, transfers into a fallaway slam, hits a corkscrew splash, follows up with a one-armed powerbomb for the win. Kayla Braxton interviews Xavier Woods in the back. They recapped Butch defeating Kofi Kingston. Xavier Woods beats Butch in 3:44. Woods and Butch have a decent enough match while it lasted, but why even have them get dressed for something under 4 minutes? Sheamus and Holland pumped Butch up before he made his entrance. Butch comes out without Sheamus and Holland. The team name appears to be the Brawling Brutes. What a stupid name. They started fast with Woods rocking Butch with a forearm, follows up with a sliding dropkick through the ropes. Butch fights back and takes Woods down with elbows. Woods then rolls Butch up for near fall. Butch then briefly regains control, but Woods hits a rolling DDT for near fall. Butch then takes over with kicks to the head. Woods rocks Butch with a kick and then goes for the DDT from the middle rope. After the match, Butch runs out, runs through the crowd and disappears. Woods then walks back. Sheamus and Holland walked out. Butch reappears and attacks Woods. RK Bro video package. Michael Cole addresses Sasha Banks and Naomi's situation from Monday on Raw. Describes the events from Raw that ended with both of them leaving. Sasha and Naomi let us all down. They said they were supposed to participate in a six-pack challenge. Instead, they left tag team titles with the head of talent relations and walked out of the building. He announced that Banks and Naomi have been suspended indefinitely. He also announced they'll have a tournament to crown the new champions in the future. Does anyone care about the women's tag team belts enough to care if they have such a tournament? I don't know. Anyway, so Usos and RK Bro have a decent match, 11:52. Usos are now your unified tag team champions. I thought they weren't going to do this. Anyway, Paul Heyman joins Cole and Pat McCaffrey on commentary, best part of the match. RK Bro have an early advantage. Fans break into a Randy chant. Usos take over. Back from the break, Usos isolate Riddle on their side of the ring. And then Cole notes that Riddle suffered a bruised hip before the break. How do we know that? Anyway, Jimmy attacks the bruised hip and hits a back suplex. Orton then hits a draping DDT on Jimmy, following up with the RKO. Jay breaks up the pin. Riddle tags back in and hits a series of forearms, goes for the Broton, but Jay gets his knees up. Riddle and Jay fight on the top rope. Riddle then goes for a super RKO, but Heyman destroys and distracts the referee. Roman Reigns runs out from the crowd. He grabs Jay and Riddle, crashes into the ring. Jay then hits a splash for the win, becoming the unified tag team champions. After the match, Bloodline attacks RK Bro at ringside. Bloodline celebrates with the titles to celebrate SmackDown's ending, which is the best part of the show. Is when it ends. We'll be back with more right after this.